Friends, brothers, and sisters, all. I just listened to the Trump speech. It was marvelous. It was uplifting. We are heading for the promised land. There's no question in my mind about it. I want to. I want to delve into several aspects of this. There's several questions that come to mind as I'm looking through the information that seems to be coming out. One is about Elohim, about our God. That translates, at least in the text that I've seen, as our God. I wanna go into that very, very a little, or I wanna show you some of the posts about that. That's one thing I hope to accomplish tonight. The big thing I want to accomplish, and this is so important, in my opinion. And it could be there's a philosopher online who says that talking about the Enlightenment is counterproductive. It just drives people crazy. However, I want to mention three distinct areas. We're talking about Q and quantum. Okay, yeah, I'm going for it. I'm just going to go for it. Okay, I'm just going to start talking about what I'm talking about. I had the thought tonight that I just wanna confess that this is kind of an embarrassing thing. But yeah, I can't do it. I just can't do it. Let's just put it like this. There must be an easy way for me to say this. The information that I am giving you is is not from me. Okay, it is not like Ellie Weber. I sit down and I think about this and I do some research. I mean, none of that occurs. And yet the information that comes through my lips, through my mouth, I believe is very important information. It's not for everyone. There would be tens of thousands more people here if it was. Yet, it will become the information that I am sharing will at some point become very important to people, or else it will come from other sources. It's not about me and my thing and my platform. It's about the message. The message that I'm putting out, and in particular tonight, I'm going to be focusing on enlightenment, as boring as that may seem, is essential information. There are a couple of very simple steps that one can take to become, okay, a student. And again, I identify with Matt Myers. Matt Myers said, we don't have to, like, explain that we're not really enlightened beings, or we are really enlightened beings, or any of that stuff, or that I'm a prophet or I'm not a prophet. None of that really matters. What matters is the essential information that I want to share tonight. And this is the culmination of a lifetime of research, of being backed into numerous corners, and having to overcome many difficult situations and many wonderful situations, and having caused confusing situations myself by my own actions, by cause and effect. With all that aside, there are a couple of things, and this morning I put out a video that I think is it broaches. It may not capture exactly what I'm trying to say. Hey, grassroots, but this is really important information. So this morning I was talking about the difference between quantum and binary computing. But this is a metaphor for our lives and our existence, because the binary system has been presented to us, but let's say by the evil ones, by the ones who want to keep us in our little boxes so that we cause no harm to them. And they're talking about, lighting up CERN on the 29th of June and this kind of stuff. I mean, there is a lot going on. I've seen things about the EBS on June 29th and all this kind of nonsense. But here's the essential point. The difference between binary is that in binary computing, in the programming of binary computing, the pathway goes along thought flows that use 0 and 1, which is yes or no, black or white, good or bad. We live in a binary, we are forced to live in a binary world. In the binary world, you are constantly having to judge things as either yes or no, good or bad, evil, it's just it's binary. In the quantum computing model and in the quantum existence and in living a quantum, let's say, fifth dimensional existence, th- the the possibilities are there's 0 and there's 1 and there's the infinite numbers in between. Between 0 and 1, you could have a half, you could have a quarter, you could have an eighth, you could have a 16th, you could have 32nd, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. In other words, there are infinite numbers, infinite possibilities between the yes and the no. So we've been taught, we've been brought up to live in this yes or no world. And as a result of that, we are constantly in a state of judgment I- because they put us into this survival mode because they're creeps. So we're constantly going, yes, no, I don't like that person. I do like this person. I like this thing, but I don't like that thing. This is binary thinking. This is the trap that our consciousness has been. This is the way the evil ones have trapped our consciousness, because we're constantly in a state of judgment. We're constantly having to decide, is this good or is it evil? Do I want it or do I not want it? Is it good for me? Is it bad for me? Is it, I mean, and you can imagine where this goes. But like one of the big things that I'm always, just because of my upbringing and everything else, is that people have been taught to think of sensuality, let's say, as that's just wrong, that's just bad, and this everything is categorized by yes or no. In the quantum model of existence, all possibilities exist. Yeah, it might be that I like this person on Tuesdays at 1 o'clock, but at 2 o'clock, he says something and I don't like him in that moment, but it doesn't mean that I don't like him. I haven't made this decision between this binary decision. In other words, I'm going with kind of a flow. That's to me being in the now, because in the now, all possibilities exist at all times. It's quantum, it's infinite. It's just as important, like, the example I always use is that in the old days, not so much now, but in the old days, I would go into a grocery store, which I love. I love grocery stores, even though they sell a bunch of polluted, disgusting, depopulating kinds of foods. That I don't love. But when I used to go into the store, as I was still immersed in the process of becoming who I am today, I would go down an aisle simply because I wanted to be make sure that the item I was looking for is not there. I needed to do that. This is just the way my mind was thinking at the time. It's like, "Oh, let's make sure it's not in this aisle first, and then let's see," and it was kind of a delight. It was this is a delightful process for me to use in deciphering what I do want. Okay, so this is a basic level kind of teaching. What it means is that there's an emotional surge that takes over your body when you are in the judgment phase. Now, a lot of people really enjoy it, really enjoy judging people, and they'll gather around with others, and they'll all talk about how bad things are, and that's a state of existence that and I'm not gonna judge it, but th this is this is part of this knowing. But once you become metacognitive, once you become aware of your thinking, and I saw a video today, I don't know if I can find it, but they were talking about how people who are metacognitive are the highest on the highest level. That means that you're always thinking about your thinking. You don't but and even if you are thinking about your thinking for a few minutes, that's enough of a seed to grow into a whole lifetime of being aware of your thoughts. So when you let's say you go through the day and you think to yourself, "Gee, we went to the mailbox today." There's a part of me that remembers what I was thinking about while I was at the mailbox because I spend a lot of my time thinking about my thinking. So I'll go, "Oh, yeah, went to the mailbox. I was thinking this thought." It's just metacognition. So if you're aware of your thoughts and you go into a state of judgment, you'll immediately say, I don't think I wanna entertain this thought. This is not a thought that's for me right now." You see how this goes? And if you think to yourself, "I'm about to have a judgmental thought. I'm always doing this, I'm such an asshole. I'm about to have a judgmental thought about this person." Now, sometimes you need to have judgmental thoughts if there's a dangerous situation, but and you need you but you can make an analysis of a situation, of a real life living situation, like you walk into the store and you decide to do you decide to ask the storekeeper their name because you like them, and you say, "Hey, what's your name?" Eh, this is there are times when you need to be aware of certain kinds of judgments, like, okay, I feel safe enough with this guy, like, we went James's computer got rained on the other day, so we went to get it fixed in the computer store, and we're having this nice discussion with this young man behind the counter, and suddenly I was just like, "Well, what's your name? Where are you from? What do you" and when you break through those kinds of barriers, which we do all the time, we will go up to somebody that we meet in Kingman and just say, "Where are you from? What are you doing? What do you" we're not afraid to ask, "Oh, what's your name? Oh, you're and where do you live? And how do you like it?" And this kind of thing. If you we feel that when you're living in this kind of a momentary thing where you're not so worried about, is it okay? Is he gonna think I'm a weirdo if I ask him his name? It's like we don't we do it, we just that's just part of who we are. So metacognition, meaning thinking about thinking, is very important. Reacting to things, most people spend their life in a reactive mode. They're either reacting to somebody emotionally, they're reacting to an idea emotionally, they're reacting to a situation emotionally, and or escaping reacting to it. They're sitting on a bar stool, yeah, drinking and thinking thinking in a metacognitive way. They're really become themselves in a sense, and not so much reactive. But that's a whole nother thing. Metacognition, thinking about your thinking, being aware that you are thinking, being aware of what the thought is, being aware that when a negative thought comes into your mind, you have a choice. And this happens to me all the time. A negative thought comes into my mind, and I'm like, well, what are you doing here? I don't I didn't really ask for you. I don't wanna necessarily hang out with you. You're saying, yeah, that I should be upset. I mean, Daniela just said something that really ticked you off. You wanna scream and yell at her? Is that really is that the best choice right now? Or maybe it's a better choice to just kinda like, maybe ignore it, maybe start thinking, maybe start your mantra. I'm often willing to go into a kind of a mantra state. I'll start breathing in, I'll focus on my breath rather than react to the situation. So, metacognition, thinking about thinking, not reacting to everything, and not judging. These are important tools in your toolkit, in my opinion. The fourth thing, or the maybe the second floor that these foundations are built on, the metacognition, thinking about thinking, not getting into judgment, and not reacting emotionally to situations around you, are the three pillars upon which the fourth pillar can be built. And the fourth pillar, in my opinion, is that you're open to whatever is coming your way in the moment. You're not necessarily dwelling in the past. You're not thinking about what I have a person in mind that I love very dearly, and she wants to figure out what we're gonna eat tomorrow, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, Danielle, I can't go there. I'm busy with today right now. Can we talk about it tomorrow?" You know? I mean, but the idea of living, if you have this basic foundation, you're metacognitive, you're thinking about thinking, you're not judging, and you're not reacting, then you can live in a mindset where all possibilities, then you become quantum. This is just my way of explaining this idea, that you become quantum, you become open to all possibilities at all times. You don't have any fixed, that's another thing. You don't have a fixed, like, well, I have to be, I'm 14 years old and I must have I must have finished all my English requirements. It's like that's not, you just are open. You just are quantum. You're open to all possibilities. In other words, you don't have a fixed destination in mind. You're just you're just digging it, man. You're like, "Okay, man, I'm driving home." Like, we went to town today, and we did stuff. We met with people in the Republic, and that's another really important thing. Let me just put that out while I'm thinking about it. Please join the Republic and get excited about it, because this is a happening thing. Get on the website. If you have any issues with the website, send it says contact us, and you can send them a snapshot of whatever the problem is. But it's not enough to just, and you should volunteer, in my opinion, volunteer to help, but then get involved. We drove into town today specifically because there was to have a meeting with our fellow people of the Republic of Mojave County. I think it's a very important thing to involve yourself with. Okay, so but that's an aside. The key thing is to live in a quantum world, to live where all possibilities exist at all times. This is a very freeing thing, and not you don't really have to live in the past. You don't now. Okay, so where does this go? Metacognition, thinking about thinking, or you'll start thinking, you start being aware of your thoughts and your feelings, like, "Oh, I'm having a feeling now. I do I really wanna go there right now?" And you start making decisions based on you being in control of the chariot, of the rider, of the ride. Metacognition is primary, is important. Being outside of the judgment state or being aware that, "Oh, I'm about to judge somebody, or I'm about to judge a situation, or I'm about to make a judgment call." And like I said, it's not always a negative thing. It could be very positive. Sometimes you really need to do that. And, not reacting to emotionally to things that piss you off or don't piss you off or whatever. And then living this quantum existence where you're in a kind of a flow state, and whatever comes your way.
Here,
Thanks, baby. You make the
careful.
decision. Okay. Oh, sorry. Thank you. Of whether or not you want to how you wanna react to it. Okay, this is all old stuff that this is a rehash, a kind of a summary of a lot of other things, and probably for most people, this could be really tedious and drive them crazy. I don't know. I wish that somebody had sat me down 50 years ago and said, "Man, you're reacting to everything. You're living in your emotions. How do you stand it? You don't have to do that. You don't have to live that way." I wish somebody had told me what I'm telling you. Become aware of your thoughts, become aware of your feelings, become aware that you're about to make a judgment, and by through this awareness. Another thing to add to this is that for years and years and years, decades, my whole life really, I was driven by the need to find out what's really going on here and how do I become an enlightened being. I don't think about that stuff anymore. I don't have to know. It's just not at this point. It's I could care less. You tell me, oh, the world is, next week, next Friday. I'd just be like, that's nice, but I'm not really there on Friday yet, and I'm really, I'm glad you're excited about it. So if you keep those basic things in mind, eventually, and you start to practice these principles, again, think about your thoughts, know the difference between a thought and a feeling. That's kind of obvious here. It's kind of like high level stuff. I'm not talking this to newbies who never meditated or don't know which end is up anyway. But become aware of your thoughts, become aware that you're having a feeling. Try to stay out of the cause and reaction kind of thing, where somebody says something you do and you react and you get pissed off. That's a kind of a level that you at least in the beginning want to become aware that you're doing it, and then over time it will become less and less. So then your life becomes a never-ending adventure of love and truth. This morning, I'm just gonna tell this. This just cropped in. This came into my heart just this morning, just this moment. We were in Kingman. We were, let's see, we had just finished the meeting with the Republic, and I was flying on a cup of coffee from the bistro, the liquid bistro where I had a cup of coffee, and I was toasted. I don't eat in the morning. To have a really good cup of coffee and you're not eating is, for me, like high level psychedelic. I mean, I would rather do that than ingest DMT or take psilocybin trip. I for me, coffee is about, that's about as much as I can take. So I was crispy out of my mind. So I I just said so I'm really feeling good, and James and Danielle are with me. So I'm like, "I wanna go to that shop." It was like an antique shop. I said, "I've never been in there. Let me at least look in the window." And I looked in the window and I saw it's a huge shop. It goes way, like, miles back, man. It's like so I said, I'm gonna go in." And I went in and I was all, like, "Hey, what's going on?" I was just, like, all friendly and super out of my mind because I was coffeeed up to the max, and I see this being, this little old lady, this little wrinkled lady, and I was just like, "Wow." I mean, I saw right away that she was just calmly, she didn't engage, she just, very polite, but I saw right away that this is like an enlight a beau this is this is an enlightened being. I'm facing an enlightened being, and I was just like, I had to catch my breath, and then I went out, I said, "Let me just take a minute and look up and down the aisles and see if there's some reason why I'm here." And then I came back to this lady, and her teeth were not good, and, she was wrinkled, I mean, if you looked at her with normal eyes, you'd be like, it's like a little old lady, but I could see I'm a and I looked at her and I said, "Wow," I said, "How are you?" This kind of thing, and she said to me, "Do you see auras? Do you see lights?" I said, "Well, yes, I do." And she said, "You would then you're probably an empath." And I said, "Yeah, probably." And I said, "What's your name?" She said, "Cindy." And I said and I just grabbed her. I hugged her, and it was just like because I saw the godliness. I saw this. This is just like a couple of minutes, I mean, you and I have these adventures continually, but how often do you stop to notice, "Wow, this is a miraculous experience. I'm meeting somebody that I recognize in some way that I'm not consciously aware of, but it's stunning." I was just like in shock that she exists. I was just like appreciating her existence. And, we said, "Okay," I said, "I will probably continue to I will have more, we will have telepathic, messages to each other for a while," I told her, Don't be surprised if I'm in your thoughts a little bit because I'm just so I'm in awe of this moment." And this is just like another day, it's just like, did anything really happen, today? Well, yeah, lots of things happened today. We were in town, we bought a bunch of fruit, we had all kinds of adventures. We met people and then we met them again. We saw them at a different place and if you live with your heart, it's all there's no it's not quantum, it's not binary anymore. It's not, "Oh, well, this is good and this now I have to go. Look, I wanna get out of this one and let's go to the next situation," and being open to the quantum possibilities at all times, being aware of your thoughts, being aware that you have a choice. You can react to if somebody says something to you, you could react to it, or you could choose to ignore it. You are in control of your thoughts and your existence, and you're in a state of quantum awareness because anything is possible at all times. And you're creating a lot, most of it. I think you're creating all of it. I mean, did I create this woman in this antique store? Probably. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how the mechanics. I don't really care. So now I just wanted to make a brief, mention of, I had a discussion with James today. James is very, just amazing. So I said to James, well, I had several important interchanges with James. One was, and this was monumental. So you might be thinking, you signed a new foundational treaty. You willed over. No, we were. It was morning. I had taken this coffee. I was buzzed out of my brain, and we were trying. And I didn't eat until about 3 o'clock today, but which I really like, and I recommend it because once you get out of the grips of letting the food control you, like, "Oh, I have to eat now, I have to eat," and it's pleasurable, and once you get beyond food, life takes is very different. But at any rate, we I had this coffee, I went through this beautiful, loving experience of really seeing a saintly person who recognized me and I recognized her. Then we got in the truck and we went to our favorite farm store, west of 3rd, and Daniela bought some things. We got to see our good friend Rachel, who works behind the counter. We love Rachel. Uh, we bought some farm fresh peaches and, I bought some radishes, which I'll probably enjoy later. I love eating radishes. And so we finished up there, and this is the non-monumental, monumental nature of reality. That once you wake up to the quantum nature of your existence, things take on a totally different meaning. So anyway, I got some food for Daniela. Daniela is very particular about what she eats. We got some tallow chips because she won't let me eat regular potato chips that are made even with olive oil. She's like, "You're not eating that."
Okay, so they were non-GMO and stuff.
They
Or
were
they
non-GMO.
were bad.
Yeah, this was tallow chips,
The other ones,
what, the potato chips? The other one, right.
the bolder,
Right,
whatever it is.
yeah, when we used to be eating a certain kind of chip, and now we don't eat it anymore. But so I went to get her chips, and she was very happy,
Because there's no keto cookies, that's why.
because she wanted keto cookies at another place. I mean, this is our world. This is important stuff. She really wanted a keto cookie, and the place didn't have any keto cookies, so we had to go down to west of 3rd and get some tallow chips. Then we got in the car with our bags of goodies. We had our fresh peaches, and we got the radishes, and we got the tallow chips, and, probably some other
And the masa chips for Friday night
and
movie.
chips for Friday night, movie night up here on the ranch. And we got in the truck, and, I've been talking about we often James and I Daniela doesn't take part because it's not organic enough, but James and I like to stop at the ice cream
It's
place.
not raw enough and it
It's
has
not raw
sugar.
enough. It's not raw enough for Daniela, but it's raw enough. James and I are like, "Let's go eat some ice cream." So I said to James, I said, and I wasn't sure because I was still fasting, even though I had a cup of coffee and it had all kinds of cool stuff like butter in it. So I wasn't really fasting, but I was fasting enough. And I was worried that if I ate ice cream right away, all that sugar might send me over the top. So our decision making process, remember, we're a community now. The three of us are a community, and we are the seeds of a much larger community that will eventually accumulate around us. But we are everything we do at this point in our journey will be echoed by a much bigger community. So it's important stuff. So I said to James, I said, "You really want to eat ice cream now?" And he's like, "Well, I don't know." He said, "Maybe it's maybe we shouldn't be spending the money on the ice cream, maybe, this kind of thing. And we had a little back and forth. The ice cream place is just around the corner from West Third, and we got right in front of the ice cream place, and we were still having this kind of like intellectual babble about the ice cream. And I said, James, just answer one question. Do you want ice cream now? Yes or no? And he said, yes. I said, okay, that's all I need to know. And I pulled into the place and we had some delicious ice cream. And as a consequence of us having this wonderful, enjoyable ice cream, James left his cell phone there, and we went to the next place. We went to get our laundry, and then we had to come back to get his phone, and it was there, and it was no problem.
And you talked to the barbecue guy.
Oh, and we had a long discussion about a guy. Anyway, you think you just went to town to get some stuff. We had a long discussion with a guy who's opening a restaurant in a space that a friend of ours owns, and
Called the social house.
the social house, right? The social house. I mean, these are the details that excite us. This is in me. This is quantum existence. This is high level stuff. Did I meet with the ambassador of Kuwait? No. But did I talk to a guy who's opening up a restaurant, a high class barbecue restaurant in Kingman with, beautiful, and he showed me we looked inside at the tables, the set tables were so beautiful. And he said, the kids are going to go to the lemonade place. And this is, and all this stuff is like farm fresh food out here. But this all led to afterwards. We got back here, and we now know exactly how to do things as a community. And usually I end up taking all the bags out of the truck, and we got a lot of fruit and a lot of stuff. And remember, the members of the community were a little bit upset because we ran out of fruit Sunday night, and everybody wanted to go to town on Monday, and I just said, "I'm not going to town on Monday. We can live without fruit," and we ended up eating. We have tons of fresh vegetables up here that we grow ourselves, so we're not lacking for, if we didn't. Anyway, the long and the short of it is, I saw James, after we got here, and everyone did their job. Daniela loaded the refrigerator with all this fruit that we got, and James had helped me and everything. We bought 4 gallons. Are those gallons or
No.
quarts? Quarts? 5.
5 quarts.
5 quarts of raw goat's milk for our pets, of course. Um, I received an email, yeah, from the Republic, a person saying they are the governor of Maryland and wanted me to answer these questions. That's probably real deal. By the way, there's a scammer who scammed my emails and is sending out dinner invitations. That is not me. And remember, I will never, ever, ever, ever contact you about a crypto deal or anything else. These are scammers. Do not answer these kinds of calls. Just ignore them. Anyway, after all this is said and done, I see James sitting in near the garden after he went back to the garden. He wakes up at dawn and is out watering by hand each plant in the garden. And every day he grows everything from seeds. So every day there's more plants, more trees, more chickens, we're going to have goats soon. Everything is expanding really fast. So I said to James, I said, "You look so happy." He says, "I'm living my dream. This is my dream." He wants to just he wants to grow things. This is his dream. Now, in the Matrix, you can't just do your dream, but up here you can live your dream. I live my dream of broadcasting. Daniela lives her dream of other things that I can't go into all the details, but we all live our dream. She likes to do yoga and meditate and work out, and we're working on other projects on the side and all this stuff. But we're living our dreams. And the dream doesn't stop when we go into town. The dream is endless. The dream is wondrous. The dream is it's unbelievable to live without fear, without out of the binary trap. "Oh, I have to do this or I can't do that, or if I do this and my IRA and my this and that," fuck that shit. We're living on the earth. We're living, and when it rains, it's a big deal up here because we don't have a roof. Anyway, but James said, I'm living my dream. He's totally focused on the farming aspects up here, and I just look forward. I look forward to the time when everyone that I meet will be living their dream, and I think a lot of people that I do meet are living their dream. But I want everyone to be one of the questions, where did I hear about them? Give your name as a reference. Who wants to phone a conversation, discuss my interest? Is where did I hear about them? You could use me. They know who I am. Is it okay? Yeah, you could use my name as a reference. Matt, are you kidding me, man? I don't know you, but you're like one of the smartest dudes I've ever met, even though I've never met you. I quote you constantly. I mean, the idea of being a student of enlightenment is brilliant. Uh, so, when there is an urge to go somewhere to do something, do it. Right. There is a reason for the urge. Yes. Thank you, happy grandma Linda. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Live on the edge. If you feel like doing something, just do it. That's brilliant. What a wonderful experience. I live with these kind of my eyes and hearts are always seeking. Yeah, that's so beautiful. Thanks, Dale. Dale, I appreciate it. The XRP Brainwash family. Hi, XRP Brainwash family. Right. And but okay, how does the XRP thing fit in with this idea of binary versus quantum? Well, in a binary world, XRP is not is down. It's still like down to $1.05 or something. So you should be pissed off. You should be like, "Oh shit, man, my investment, I've lost all my money." But in the quantum world, we understand that things have an intrinsic value. So we don't care. We are happy when XRP goes down because if we happen to have some money at that time, we want to buy some more because we know it's going to the moon. It's going and it's not even that it's going to the moon, but it is going to eradicate these banksters from the planet. They are going to be, they're going to be I take great joy in giving charity to people on the street. I wish I could give them $100 bill instead of a $5 bill. But if those homeless people are ex bankers, or it's my ex union rep, Pierre Lepew, who terrorized me and made me leave the building and basically cost me my job eventually. I mean, if you're on the street and it's Jamie Dimon has a sign that says "We'll work for food," I'd be like, tough shit, man. You're a fucking asshole, and I don't really want to give to you. I mean, get a life. Go die somewhere. I mean, just all these creepazoids. They don't have a place in the future, and they're all slowly by slowly going to be arrested. Here's another thing that I want to touch on, and then I'm going to go to the thought stream, the generalized thought stream on X. You hear that?
Yeah, it's nothing.
What?
Nothing one.
No, nothing exciting. And that is that the great event, the RV, the EBS, all this bullshit. The thing, this is not going to be over for, in my opinion, for at least another 2 years. So just get used to it and just enjoy it. Enjoy this time. If you're living it with this constant expectation, with this constant like, how come XRP is so low? Like if you're living in the binary world and you're trying to get to the quantum world, you're just going to make yourself miserable. Just do like Grandma Linda does. Just enjoy the spontaneity. If you wanna fall in love with a little old lady in an antique store for 5 minutes and give her a hug, there's no harm. It's okay. If you wanna tell somebody like, "Wow, it's a beautiful day. I'm so happy to see you today." Okay, so with that said, let's move on to the next thing. One of them about where did I hear about them? Yeah, you can definitely, Matt. You can give my name as a reference, of course, and join the Republican. Get involved on a local level. Remember, the White Hats are waiting for 30,000 people per state. Now, for us right now at this time, it seems like it's impossible. They maybe have 10,000, 15,000 in the whole country. How are they going to get up to 30,000 a state? Well, things can change really fast. And I'm hearing some things in the background about some things, but you want to get involved. Like I said, years and years ago, I went to this meeting in White Plains, New York. I was maybe in 10th grade, and there was a meeting. Maybe it was after school, maybe it was during school. I didn't have any real qualms about leaving school midday, high school. But, I went to a meeting for Earth Day. I was like, "What's Earth Day?" "Well, we're gonna have a day where we appreciate the Earth." That was like, and there was, like, 2 people there. Just like we went to the Republic meeting for what is this? What county is this? I forget. Um for, Mojave County, and they were like, actually, they're up to like 7, 8 people now there. But this will expand. Though most people don't have no idea what we're talking about, but in 2 years' time, th things are gonna be pretty obvious. Okay, let me just go to the thought stream real quickly. I wanna share some beautiful points that have come out real quick. Um, this has never been attempted. The use of general public to counter the narrative propaganda pushed by controlled media. Analysis start to now indicate situational awareness. This is like metacognition, decoupling of MSDNC control of information, channels 1 to 99 of general public expanding at a massive pace. Attacks indicated can be defined as loss of generalized information control, need to expend ammunition, muster network to defend and coordinate attacks to counter. Military civilian alliance from Q. That's what this is all about. We are winning. Okay, so let me just go through a few of these things. Um, the correct timeline. I don't know what this is. I don't know. This is probably from Daniela. Oh, that's my thing. Okay, this is interesting. The big secret of this world is that for money, power, and influence, the elite sacrifice humans to a reptilian called, I don't want to mention his name, but the Sutton. Okay, Q provided clues that could only have come from an outside source, the same source providing Pleiadian disclosure. The angels. The angels let us know that they take orders from this creepazoid, and they kill people to sacrifice. Here it comes, Mr. Poole. Major update. President Donald Trump just released this presidential message. We have it all. Enjoy the show. Okay. Let me say that again. We have it all. Enjoy the show. Matt, you can do no wrong, man. You let me know if I can do anything. You want me to write you an official, I mean, I'll do anything, I'll do anything for my peeps. That's why I'm here. But just tell them you're my friend. Of course you can use me as a reference. But you don't need it. You can just join the Republican and start acting on a local level. It's really fun. It's just like being back in 10th grade when, except now we're doing the Republic. If you told me a decade ago that a businessman, a few lawyers, a bunch of frogs, and a letter of the alphabet could take down the globalists, I would have passed out laughing so hard. Yet here we are. We've done this, you and me. Bank of Japan will dump foreign bonds today at 7:50 Eastern time. It is now way past that, right? Eastern time, it's 7
It's
it's
10:20.
it's 10:20 Eastern Standard Time. So the Japanese, last time they dumped, this is all happening. The global alert countdown begins June 20th. This is bullshit, in my opinion, but it is. You don't need an EBS. You don't need a weatherman to tell you which way the wind blows. Greece closes 60 mosques and announces mass deportations of those creating Islamic spaces. Do you believe America needs this? Oh, yeah. The first batch of 5,000 US soldiers, we are witnessing the collapse of NATO. They left Germany. 5,000 soldiers, American soldiers, left Germany. What the hell are they doing in Germany? Nobody even asked this question. Well, since the end of World War II, that whole mindset is long gone. Okay. So that's interesting. The White House posted a fake meme Q drop yesterday to tease an announcement about quantum computing. Okay, so but the mainstream media is terrified to admit that Q is real and Q is important. This is the other avenue that I said I wanted to discuss. Full interview. The Vatican had him fired for revealing what the Bible really says. His claim: humans were genetically engineered by an ancient race of beings that the Bible refers to as the Elohim. He says that the Nephilim means those who fell. Nephilah is the singular. That means he says that the word Nephilah in Aramaic, and I have to check with my son who speaks it. He knows Aramaic. He says Nephilah means beings that come from the planetary system Orion. Nephilah, that these were beings from Orion. Now, the Elohim, when every prayer in the Old Testament is based on Adonai, on the Lord, and then the Lord, which has the gematria of 26, which means God above nature, God is he's in everything, God, the God of beyond, and Elohim, which is our God, which could be associated with the Nephilah, could be associated with the Nephilim from Genesis, from the book of Genesis, those who fell and mated with, maybe it was a genetic. These were apparently high level beings. Okay, so anyway, so that's something that we will investigate further. This is a beautiful thought. The loss of equilibrium. The two lobes of the cerebrum were called by the ancients Cain and Abel. And how much had much to do with the curse of Cain, which is literally the curse of unbalance, for the murder of the spirit of equilibrium. So they're saying that Cain is like the binary. Cain is the judgmental, Cain is the murderer, and Abel is the heart, is the quantum field, and that I mean, I'm just sort of paraphrasing in my own like lexicon. What is Q for those still learning? The drops explain. Yeah. Okay. So we read that. And then Elohim said, "Let us make humans in our image, in our likeness. Let them rule the fish of the sea, the birds in the sky, the domestic animals all over the earth, and all the animals that crawl on the earth." So Pleiadians define Elohim as beings who originated in 12D, already very powerful and and chose their physical expression, culture, etc. They are among the oldest and most powerful beings in the universe. They include galactic races like Pleiadians, Arcturians, Syrians, and more. Okay, so I'm not going to read the whole post, but this is so is are we talking about the Orions or are we talking about these fallen angels? And it could be that both are true at the same time. Jupiter ascending, that will explain exactly what this realm is. Okay. It's a great road and should be shared. Have you read Sandy's message about the history of Republican Trump? No, I have not, but I'll check it out. Thanks, Shelby. One of the okay, so, should we read this more? I don't know. It's from Cobb. I like Cobb. This is a beautiful thing. It says, "The most powerful prayer is not asking for something, it is gratitude for what already is. When you thank the universe as if your desire is already fulfilled, you align with the frequency of its manifestation. Gratitude is the master key." That's a beautiful little post. Um, they're not turning the machine off, they're preparing it for a ritual of unprecedented scale. This is talking about CERN. They're turning on CERN on June 29th. I don't know how to relate to that particular piece of news. The chemtrails, at least here, have pretty much gone away. I don't know what it's like by you, but think about this, and then I'll go to this next thing. The gas stations are on notice because 'cause they're still charging a lot of money even though the crisis is over. The Anunnaki matrix rebooted, why Elon Musk is rebuilding. Okay, that again, this is all in line. Metacognition, the ability to think about your own thinking is considered the highest form of intelligence. I'm gonna play that video because it's in line with everything I've been talking about, but before I do, I wanna go back to, this where was it? Yeah, I wanna do this metacognition thing. Nibiru, the Anunnaki, but there was oh, the chemtrails. Right. The CERN, I didn't want to deal. There was some other thing I was going to talk about, but it's okay. Use of general public to counter the narrative. Okay. So let's watch this thing because this is very much supports what I was talking about in terms of the of thinking about thinking. And then we'll kind of like we'll head out, but let's see if I can do this. I can stop sharing. I can go here, and I can go here.
They react, they repeat, they stay the same. But the moment you pause and observe your own thinking, something deeper begins to happen. Neuroscientists have found that a specific part of your brain activates, the anterior prefrontal cortex. This region isn't built for action. It's not for movement or reaction. It exists to observe. When it activates, your attention turns inward. You're no longer inside the thought, you're looking at it, and that changes everything. You start to notice patterns. You interrupt reactions. Most people never reach this point. They stay on autopilot, repeating the same loops without ever seeing them. But the ones who do evolve faster than everyone else.
Okay, so that's about metacognition, which I think is really kind of like the basic idea that I've been talking about tonight. We talked about these three pillars with metacognition, not reacting to things, and and just being aware of the difference between feeling and thinking and that sort of stuff, and living outside of judgment in the quantum field where all things are possible at all times. And if you're focusing on your thoughts and you're aware of, okay, I'm having this thought and this is bringing me to this idea or whatever, um, you will start to evolve and you will get past the point of wanting to be enlightened. You will not be seeking enlightenment anymore. You will just be um, a kind of a you will develop a certain mastery. Okay, I haven't read Sandy's thing. Watch the movie. Oh, Jupiter Ascending. Can we watch
Yeah,
that?
I saw that.
Can we try it again?
I don't like it.
You didn't like it either. Okay. I heard the For Overall the CERN has been shut down. Yeah, we've heard that as well. I don't know. I don't know what this information is. I think we should just assume that everything is going swimmingly well, and the sky is that well, those are streaks in the window, but the sky is free of chemtrails, so that's really beautiful. I want to encourage everyone. I want to talk about the special on LifeWave. These patches I think are absolutely stunning and amazing. I just want to remind everyone that 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 I got the price wrong, but buy the Y Age Get Silent Nights free. Wait a minute. I stop sharing. Let me try that again. Oh yeah, I did it the right way. Let's see. Right. Okay, that if you buy the YH system, YH is Eon for inflammation, glutathione, the master antioxidant, and carnosine for individual heart and brain kind of things, vision. You will get a free sleeve of Silent Nights. And I wanted to um, correct a mistake that I made a few nights ago, and that is to say, I showed you a screenshot of this. However, I got the wrong price. The real price is 149 for 3 sleeves for a month's supply of Eon of what the YH trio, Eon, carnosine, and glutathione. You'll get a Silent Nights for free. Okay, so that's for 149 bucks. That's like 50 bucks. Well, even less if you look at you're getting 4 patches. That's really amazing. I also want to recommend that those who have not tried it, the X2O machine is life-changing as well. We are sleeping better. We are just we're like kind of reaching a very high state up here, at least most of the time. We do have our issues. I have my issues. And but we really know how to work through them. And having other beings, having James here and having Daniela here, who are also working on enlightenment or students of enlightenment, makes it we're all on the same path. And like I said, if you feel you're there and you feel like you want to be like James and just groove out on what you love to do. If you just happen to be a great chef, or like about carnivore, keto, and you could bake a little bit on a campfire. It's primitive living up here, but we are looking for an enlightened cook. It's primitive. I mean, we're still I don't have a roof. Honestly, I don't have a roof over the building, but we manage. We now have a flush toilet, which is a big deal. We have a well. We have all kinds of fresh vegetables now, and you will not have to worry about creature comforts. You will if you can live in a kind of a primitive way. You don't have to give us any money. You don't have to do anything. And if you want to spend a day walking around in the woods and you know what a snake looks like, so you don't step on one, get yourself in trouble, and you want to join us and you want to be like James is like living his dream. He's spending all his time. And he's like, what do you want me to do? I'm like, I want you to just do what you want to do, because what he does is monumental and beautiful, and he lives his dream. He's constantly playing, with the plants and planting things and building greenhouses and building chicken coops and planning this and planning that. And coming up with ideas. He's like, if we start to do this, we can make all this money doing this, which is fine. I don't have anything about making money. But anyway, we do appreciate those of you who and by the way, we give James drinks from the same water. Remember, no microplastics, no pollutants, and this water is infused with 6 wavelengths of light, which nobody really knows what that means, but if you use it for a while, life takes on a different meaning. So if you wanna live outside the matrix, up here with us, and, it's kinda rough. I mean, physically, there's no couches, we don't have a
Yeah.
couch yet. Yeah, sorry, babe. Danielle's like, "Yeah." Okay, so anyway, yeah, so it's all good. Come join us, buy some of these cool patches, man. I mean, if you're an older dude, man, and you're going to the bathroom all the time, check out the patches. I like X39. I've been putting on X39 below my belly button for years. I just read a thing they're saying that everything connects to the belly button area. I don't have back pain anymore. I mean, it was so excruciatingly painful. It's gone. It's gone to the point that, like yesterday, I think it was yesterday, I had to pick up a lot of the rock. I have we had collected all the flat rocks we could find, and we have them in a big pile. So I had to move them out of the way so I could put the fruit trees there. And I picked up all these rocks, and it was like, hey man, it feels good to use my back. I'm 71. So these patches are, if the doctor says, and if you feel like, there's nothing you can do about it, then don't do anything. But if you want to like get over it and feel better and feel good about your life and do the things that you set out to do, um, quantum intelligence, yeah. No chemtrails. That's good. That's good. Yeah, I think they've now. Oh yeah, I was going to make. That's what I was going to talk about. The chemtrails. Think about it. A few months ago, we were desperate. We're like, doesn't anybody notice this? Doesn't and by as an effect of all of us, this is so empowering because everyone started complaining and screaming and yelling and putting out posts. They're gone now. They're gone. That came because you and I pushed. So imagine how this is going to happen on all levels. Don't worry about your finances, man. Just worry about having, I mean, do what you have to do. You saw I got into trouble because I was just like, okay, it's already good. We're in the Sarajasara. I don't have to pay my thing anymore. And then I found out my land was up for auction. So I had to really scramble around. Fortunately, there are angels in the world, and an angel stepped forward and helped me out. And, I'm hoping that it'll work out real cool, and XRP will go to the moon, and I'll be able to pay back, and whatever. But this is a beautiful world. So, and we are waking up on the front porch. Remember, I was devastated by New York. I lost my contracting company. I lost a lot of things I can't really mention here, but I lost everything really. And I moved back to Nashville for the second time. And I was beside myself with grief. I was confused, and I had made this friend, Sparky Brown, and I think I dropped a couple of hits of acid that night, and I called Sparky Brown. He said, "Come on over to Sheila's house," and I ended up like literally sleeping on the front porch. Sheila held me. Sparky put his hand on my heart. And Sparky said, you don't have to live like this New York thing, man. It's over. You can do whatever you want. Sheila, I spent some time in the woods with Sheila. It just changed my life. Okay, so let's go to that tune. Let's see if I can pull this off. City, I
was paying down my bills. One flat tire and the whole thing went to hell. Credit cards for groceries, I'm deep in debt again. It's time to split this scene, walk with you, my friend. Leaving the matrix, heading for the promised land. They stole our money, but they couldn't stop the plan. Let's go together, playing with the band. Leaving the matrix, we're heading for the promised land. Stopped paying taxes, your insurance I don't need. The medicines are killing us, hospitals grow like weeds. Moved into paradise, I don't need no gassy cars. Fake news, endless wars, a satanic legal bar. Leaving the matrix, heading for the promised land. They stole our money, but they couldn't stop the plan. Let's go together, playing with the band. Leaving the matrix, heading for the promised land. My friends all tell me I lost control. Left my wife and job just to run down rabbit holes. But I can tell you one thing about my fall. Where we go one, we go all. Leaving the matrix, heading for the promised land. They stole our money, but they couldn't stop the plan. Let's go together, playing with the band. Leaving the matrix, heading for the promised land. Leaving the matrix, we're heading for the promised land.
Yeah, I'm sorry I got the wrong song, but, that's just the way the cookie crumbles, and, it's not so bad. Yeah, I had actually he's talking about the ice cream again. I had, they had a Wednesday special. They had 2 cookies with a scoop of ice cream in between it. That's what I had. James had 2 scoops. But, man, it's all good. It's all good. It's all beautiful. Fast a little bit, fasting, the intermittent fasting used to make me the first couple days, I was like, I hate this, I don't wanna do that. I wanna eat. But after a while, you get used to not eating, and it's kinda like, "Do I really wanna eat? I don't I feel really good. I'm not sure I even wanna eat." So, you start and if you do it, gradually and a little bit, and even if you put off, they say in, this mystic book, the Tanya, that even if you put off eating for 5 minutes, that really grabs the bull by the horns, or grabs the goat by the horns, probably in our case. Although we have seen a lot of bulls lately, a lot of real nice cattle out here, and we're thinking after we get the goats and we get used to that, maybe we'll we'll get some cows up here. So anyway, just keep doing what you're doing. It's all good, man. Don't worry about it. If it takes a little longer, it's okay. This is a time. There's kind of a like a blank canvas here. Oh, that's what one other point I just want to make. When you think of living, like you look at our life and you say, oh, they live in such a primitive thing. But no, we don't. Because that's the binary way of thinking. It's like, oh, they live off grid. They live, they're camping out. They don't have a roof. They don't have this. They don't have that. Um, they're living a primitive lifestyle. No, we have Starlink up here. We go to town. I mean, it is it is not a binary world. It's not like either you're primitive or you live in a sophisticated lifestyle. We live both, and that's the beauty of the quantum idea that all possibilities between 0 and 1 exist. You may wanna go down the aisle in the grocery store to make sure that's not the one your food is on. Thanks, Tess Castro. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, so that greeting from Connecticut. Nice, nice. Spacey, Casey, we love you, we miss you, we're thinking about you, and I hope you're well, and,
He needs to
everybody.
come out here.
Yeah, Daniela wants you to come out here. We're really growing, man. We're grooving. We got your chickens. You can come and help us with the chickens. We need to expand our. We're working on the idea of building a fence so we can get more animals because we're having such a nice time. Okay, so yeah, that's it. We need the next big purchase. I think is a refrigerator. We need a refrigerator. We have an extra what do you call it? Freezer. The freezer's really good. We got, we go to town, man. We get, I spent $86 on food. I got hot dogs. I got 3 kinds of burgers. I got, what else did I get? Chicken, right? We got all kinds of chicken. We got beef bacon, man. I mean, it's enough for like a week for the 3 of us. So it doesn't really cost that much to if you live together and you cook together and the land is paid for, so you don't pay rent, and you're hanging. I don't know. It's pretty cool up here, but I just want to show you the sunset while maybe if I can get it. Let's see if I can get this. This is what it looks like from that angle. Yeah, pretty cool, right? That's welcome to our world. So hopefully those of you who can will come and join us at some point. And let's see, let me put down. Oh, I'm gonna call Dr. Stacy, man. Get some patches. Get the machine. You won't regret it. You'll live. Why age? Why get old? And that's it, man. Just enjoy the transition. Enjoy the metacognition. Enjoy thinking about thinking and. May the force be with you. May you use the force. Use the force. The force is right here. You don't have to have $1 million. You don't have to have this. You don't have to have a big car. Dr. Stacy has a Lamborghini. I'm really excited about that. Why? Because she works her butt off. She's always there. You call Dr. Stacy almost, she's very responsive and very quick and quite brilliant. So, if you call Dr. Stacy, just tell her, what do I need? Let's say you have a fatty liver problem. I had a neighbor who has. I said, call Dr. Stacy. She'll tell you exactly what patches you need. It's just you don't have to be sick anymore. You don't have to get old. You don't have to not sleep through the night or have back pain or any of these things that the medical community is like, well, there's nothing we can do about it. The patches put light in your system and do it. So give Dr. Stacy a call. She's unbelievable. And use the force, man. Use your own God-given power. Just focus on what you're thinking and try to stay out of the judgment phase. Try to just not to judge things. Just say, okay, I don't want to really even think about it. It's just, you could feel it when it comes up. That kind of thinking, it wants to absorb, it wants to expand on a glandular level. It wants to explode in emotions and just be like, hey man, I'm busy right now. It's like the demon of doubt, right? You don't even live here anymore. The demon of doubt doesn't even he's not even there anymore. I mean, it used to be like I could pull him in. Now I'm looking at the friggin' sky. There's no demon of doubt up there. It's like, it's like the monster in your closet. It's gone. All right. So yeah, may source be with you. May continue to create. May you be like James and live the life of your dreams, James, Danielle, and I. And let's get out there with a big smile on our face tomorrow night. I think we're doing some mystic stuff with some dudes from the Republic, but let's get out there with a big smile on our face and rock the world.